Round 2, Real Talkers. We have got such a good season ahead. It's so great to have you all back. For the familiar faces, we owe you one. To the fresh faces, mate, you have found yourself a new home in the world of podcasts because we are kicking things off with one of my favourites. And I've got to be real here. I do have a personal relationship, no sexual relationship, but this woman is so damn cool. Not to mention she's so talented. She's a dual Australian athlete, unless I know otherwise in maybe school sport, but represented Australia, Queensland, the Broncos in 2019. Before that, she'd played for Australia in rugby. Yeah, Millie Boyle. Welcome. So great to have you.
Wow, thank you. What an introduction. Thanks, KB.
There's so many other things I'd like to say, but in seriousness, you're a great gem. You're one of a kind.
Thank you very much.
And I appreciate you coming on here because you are raw and relevant, and that's what we live by.
I'm just stoked to be here, stoked to be a part of Real Talk Media, and we're in the studio for the first time, so that's exciting.
Like, I had to get out my home savings just so I could be in here, so it was like legit for you. Because you're the queen.
Appreciate it.
Okay, fast five.
All right.
Because I'm going to give you a little more time. We like to ask our guests one word that best describes them. Everybody doesn't like talking themselves up, but I'll let you think on that. Mm-hmm. Fast five. Your first kiss.
Like when?
Who'd you kiss? Who was your first kiss?
My boyfriend, Nick, my only ever boyfriend I've had apart from Adam in year 9.
Year 9?
I know. I didn't know we were judging here. Right.
Okay, pump up song. I know this.
Simon Says, I don't even know who sings it, but such a banger. I don't put it on radio because it's not it's not really appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Party trick.
Party trick. I can drink, after a certain stage, I can drink vodka like it's water, and it's really not a good thing. That's probably not a party trick, but I shouldn't have said that.
No, that's like really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Dangerous.
Worst habit?
Worst habit.
Could be that.
No, it's not a habit. I don't do that often. Worst habit could be always leaving the cupboards open in the kitchen. Like I say, don't do it this time. And I come back and all of the cupboards are open. I know it was me, you know. I don't even remember doing it.
Really?
Every cupboard I open like kind of stays open until I close them. Well, that's obvious, but, you know, go around and close the whole lot.
No.
I know. And the drawers. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's frustrating. We couldn't live together. Lastly, one person you'd take to dinner.
One person I'd take to dinner.
Last dinner you could take anyone in the world.
I'd have to say, if it can't be Taylor Swift or Beyonce, Adam.
Oh! Yeah. I love that. I think everybody would love to hear that. Can't wait to ask you about that. But we got to get into one word that best describes you.
I've had a little think and a little ponder, and I think it's really hard to come up with one word that best describes you, but over my 23 years of living, I'm going to say it is resilient, because I've been through a couple of ups and downs and, you know, seem to always find myself on the way up after it. So come back better than where we started, which is good and probably a resilient thing, I guess.
Hear, hear. Are you ready to get into your raw and relevant chat, dolls?
Roaring and relevant. Let's go. Kick us off.
Okay, well, we know Millie the footballer. A lot of rugby league fans will know that, like I'd mentioned, you played for Australia, Queensland, the Brisbane Broncos. You played for the Burleigh Bears in NRLW. But who is Millie behind football?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's hard when football is such a big part of our lives, but it's also not really such a part of our lives. It's always been on the side. I am very much a family person, love spending time with my family, and I'm very lucky that they are up in Queensland now, so I get to see them a lot. Love hanging out with my friends, love going to the beach most days. Pretty chill girl, love cooking, love grocery shopping. That's one of my favourite things to do. Grocery shopping is like my meditation, like go to the shops, go through every aisle, every product. Like I find it really therapeutic. I don't know when you ever asked me about that, but don't know how that came in. That's the kind of girl I am. With work, I'm really passionate in the disability space. Having my little sister Hannah, grown up with with a disability, with Down syndrome. She's always been a part of us, like one of us 5 kids, and just, recognising how important it is to have that social inclusion for people for all abilities and having those services provided for them, and integrating, people with disabilities with non-disabilities. I'm working with a group called Trainer Group, and we are trying to bridge that gap between that inclusion and people with disabilities, so that, we're working on mental health and wellbeing in that workshop space where people can really feel a part of a team, be mentored, all through the NDIS, so like through their NDIS plans and through their goals and whatnot. So, yeah, working on this program called Game Changer. Sorry, I feel like I'm tongue twisting and going everywhere. We've got this program, Game Changer. So we're trying to use sport as that tool to be that driving force behind, bridging that gap kind of, and just getting, working on, that inside stuff, mental health, well-being, and just kind of talking about it in an open situation, and going outside and working on team building activities, building self-confidence and whatnot, and then just getting outside, getting active. So it's just really things that we all love to do, but just providing an opportunity for people with disabilities to do that as well, and then using sport as well to get behind that kind of. And so that's kind of where I'm at the moment. And have I missed anything? Not sure.
Plenty, but we'll get to that. I think that's a big one that I love to talk to you about, because you are super passionate. Hannah is hilarious. You feature her on your Instagram at all times. But I love that you are such a great example of somebody who just treats somebody who has a disability. Is that even what you like to call it, as an equal?
Yeah, I don't really use the term disability that much. I mean, we'll throw it around to kind of joke around or whatever it is. But I think, like, I've been really lucky my family have been really lucky growing up with someone like Hannah, who's just like really chill and just sees things for how they are, and like lives day to day, and like literally just loves catching the school bus and going to school. Like, she just loves such simple things. And now she doesn't go to school, so she's hating life. But no, she's great. I actually tried to make her an Instagram influencer, but I didn't really know where to start. I took over her Instagram because Mum was doing a really bad job. Sorry, Mum. Just wasn't posting the best angles or, that kind of thing.
Oh, because you're such an influencer.
I'm actually not, but I thought if anyone's got a chance in this family, it's Hannah. Be inclusive, whatever. And it didn't go too well. I tried to give her like that sassy kind vibe, and I said in her bio, I'm a nasty gal with the bad attitude. And I said it to Hannah, and she goes, no, that's rude. Don't say that. And I'm like, no, Hannah, like, just, you need to say it, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's your motto. She's like, no, I can't. That's so mean. Like, she got really upset because she hated it. So I thought, you know what? You're too nice. You're out.
You're not made for this.
You're not made for this life.
You won't be able to handle it when they tell you look too skinny or too fat in a photo.
Yeah, that's it.
But I love that and anyone, you need to look at the simple things and enjoy simple things in life. What's a good reminder when you can get so soaked up in this football space? Because if you're looking at the names of athletes, you have skyrocketed. You're going to be on SBS. We can't wait to watch you.
SAS, but SBS, same thing, not really.
Definitely not even on the same channel. I should know that, being at Channel 7. SAS. For you, like, is it important to remember those little things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just so refreshing, and like I get to be around it a lot, which keeps me really like open to everyone's different challenges, and not only see it from, I guess, their point of view, but from a family's perspective as well, and how much of an influence it can have on them. It was actually just the other day at training, we had like a fitness test, and a couple of the girls were like, damn it, like we got it sprung on us, and they were like a bit worried about it. And, like there's always nerves around that kind of thing. And I just kind of got everyone in, and I'm like, you know what, girls, like it's just a bloody fitness test. Like, we do these all the time. We do con all the time. I work with people every day that would love to get up and go for a run. Let's just be grateful that we're using these amazing facilities. We've got a support team around us. We can do all of this and get support from each other. And all we're doing is exercising. It's a privilege to be able to do this. And our S&C Brad always says it's a privilege to be able to train. And it's so true. Like if you just see things from not I have, like I know people say not I have to, but I get to. It's honestly just changes the whole perception of it, doesn't it? Like if you're not enjoying doing something, then you probably need to look at it from a different angle or change what you're doing.
Absolutely. Did you take that in when you did SAS and like, okay, it's a privilege to be here, push yourself to the limit?
Yeah, I did for a couple of days. And I'm like, get me the hell out of this place. It's actually so funny. We were on there and yeah, I mean, we'll chat about it later. But yeah, the mental game just really takes over. Yeah.
Can you not say much until it starts?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, look, I don't know. I can say a little bit, but yeah, what do you want to know?
Well, probably the mental strain. Like in a dark place, how dark did it get?
Yeah, I guess it was really tough. Going in, I knew it was going to be like the mental game was going to be big, and I knew like, yes, you've got the physical side and you've got the mental side, whatever, but it's about building all of that. I probably forgot a lot of I just think I got too hungry that I actually forgot about the brain side of it. That was my biggest downfall, I think. Like, we'd be doing a task and I was just so, like, low on energy and brain capacity that I'm like, I've even forgotten what they've told me. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are so many little monotonous things that you have to do in the morning, during the night. You spend hours drying clothes, or you get up and you do watchtower, or you're doing chores and cutting wood. Like there's so much stuff that you don't actually see from the actual big tasks that are the hardest part. So
what do you get to eat in a day? When you talk about getting hungry, you're not being able to concentrate, what was it?
So like for breakfast, we had porridge every morning, like a scoop of porridge and a boiled egg.
A scoop of porridge?
Scoop of porridge and a boiled egg.
Would that be a cup or like a scoop?
Yeah, like it was just like a scoop from like the ladle or whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I just thought every morning, God, I wish I could slab a whole thing of peanut butter in this, maybe a banana. Yeah. You had to actually go into every meal. What I did was like drink a whole heap of water before every meal, just so that my body could say you're a bit full. Do you know what I mean? Oh, and then you'd be so hungry sometimes, and then you'd go in and you'd get like tomato soup or like maybe a bread roll, like watery cabbage and boiled sausages. I remember we got boiled sausages. Even you get so hungry. Okay, the skin had come off these sausages and we were just like, and then we had boiled cabbage and boiled sausages. And I was like, oh my God, this is like, I don't really eat that much meat at the best of time, let alone terrible sausages. And I remember having the last thing left and it was like a couple of pieces of cabbage with the skin of the sausage, and you just eat it because you're so hungry. You're so hungry, you just like literally if there's even a piece of like lettuce, you're just like, yeah. Like, I don't know. It's disgusting.
Did you get to eating your own toenails or?
Nah, I didn't get that bad. But sometimes we got spoiled. Like, we got pasta one time and that was like
bee's knees.
A godsend, yeah.
Wow. Little Birdie told me that you may or may not have asked for a couple of meds, or like what happens there?
Look, yeah, I don't want to say too much, but you actually take meds for granted in the real world, just being able to go to the supermarket and buy them. I reckon it was day 2 or maybe 3. I was like, all right, my back is gone. Like, you're just doing so many things that are not not what you're used to. Like, we usually warm up for like half an hour, do prehab, whatever, before getting into something serious. Whereas this is like, all right, you've just woken up from the shittest sleep of your life on a stretcher bed. You're putting on wet clothes and then you're sitting, then you have your 20-kilo backpack, but then you're sitting in a bloody car for ages, like at the back of a Land Rover. And then everything just seizes up, and then you're straight into a task and you're fighting someone or you're off a cliff or whatever it is. Like, it's actually just crazy. And then, anyway, back to the med story. They kind of ration if you really, really need them, which, you know, if you break a rib or whatever, break a hand or a finger, they'll like ration them out. But I was like I needed them bad. I was like, all right, well, if I like strap your foot and give you a foot massage, can you give me like one of your meds? Like, I was like, please give me an anti-inflammatory, I need it. And it was probably, I don't know if it was like psychological. I was like, I can't get through this day.
I can't wait to
I don't know
who
if you'll
wins this
see,
show.
I don't even know if you'll see like that stuff, but it was like, yeah. Like,
Wow.
It's so.
I hope we do. Gosh, 21st of Feb, yeah?
21st,
21st
of Feb.
of Feb. Can you tell me who wins?
I can't.
You can't tell us
I can't tell you,
exclusively
but
on
you know what I'll tell you is there was a very strong female presence towards the end, and that was through no fault of, you know, tokenistic trying to get more girls through or, you know, like equal, whatever. I won't say who actually made it to the end, but there were more girls in the last, you know, half of it or whatever, than actually guys. It was amazing. It was amazing to see, and just how many girls from all different types of background. There's girls that were, you've got Melissa Wu, who's a diver, Elliot Green, who's a rugby player, Anna Heinrich, who won The Bachelor. Like, they just were so, like, amazing talent, and it was awesome to see. But, like, yeah, that's what I'll say.
I can't believe that you're, like, on a reality TV show. Like, Millie.
It doesn't, I know, but on there, like, you don't feel like you're on a show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're on an army camp, like that kind of thing. Like, I remember, like, halfway through my time, we were like, oh, would you come back on if they asked you to come back on? And we all said, hell no, like, not in a million years. I can't believe I'm even still here right now. Like, get me home. Like, nothing actually, unless you really, really want to get to the end. Like, money's not a factor. Nothing's a factor. Like, you just, you have to have it within yourself to finish. You know what I mean?
Oh, the mind games.
Mind games. Yeah,
I'm
there's lots
proud
of
you. Well,
tears. There's lots of tears.
I think everybody is just listening going, whoa. But for you, 23, like you've mentioned, you've been on SAS, you've played for Australia, the state, NRLW. There's been so many highs and lows. You had a premiership ring. Cut off, yeah. You had a broken nose in Origin. What's been the highlight for Millie Boyle in her football career?
The highlight? I don't know. It's like, it's hard to actually pick a highlight, I think. Like, obviously winning games is awesome. I hate losing.
I know you hate losing.
I think it's just like, and this is so cliche, but it's the people that you surround yourself through and the people that you take on with you through that time. Like, it's not just, you know, the players on the field, but it's the support staff as well. It's some great coaches that you've met or bits of wisdom they've given you or whatever it is. And it's, you know, your family always supporting you, and then seeing, you know, people drop off and come and go or whatever, but it's just having that, like, really solid group of people around you. One of my managers, David, he's like one of my biggest mentors and helped through so many things that I didn't think that I'd be able to do and achieve. And it's just having those people around you that make it for what it is. Like, this time will come and go, like footy or whatever, but they're the people that'll be with you, like, post-career. And, you know,
super cool.
Yeah, I
You've
think that's the
made
biggest
so many
things.
friends along the way. Your boyfriend plays, your brother plays, your dad and your uncle played. So, like, it runs in the blood. You're the woman who's holding it together. And I don't want to be this, like, extreme feminist, and you're not like that too. You have this ability to stamp your authority on equality in a healthy way. Do you think we're getting to that point where we're really tipping towards women banking on getting more buck?
Look, like you said, I like seeing things for what they are and being realistic about it. I'd love it to get more like that, but I think it's still got a long way to go for sure. But the only way we're going to get there is if everyone's kind of on that same page, and you can't just put your hand out and think equality. Like, you've got to think what's actually been done. Like, I know it's 2022 now, but, like, look at where the men did start, and, you know, when they were part-time and to where they are now, and building that and having – the biggest thing is as well, like, they had men watching them. Now that we've got this here, we need girls watching us, and we need women watching us. And we can't just say, oh, well, it's not just about the men. Like, what about us? Like, we are half of the population. We can get it to where it needs to be if we have the support. So it's not just, watch our games and do this, like asking those people who are already kind of stuck in their ways and do whatever. It's about changing the mindset of people watching sport in general and getting more girls into that, like to flicking it on, to listening to the radio. You know, I think it's just, you can't put your hand out for things for something that we've done 100th of the time, like for what they've done, you know what I mean? Like from the ground up, like.
How bad can women be at supporting women?
So bad. Like, I feel like guys like, yeah, awesome, awesome, mate.
Congrats.
Good on you. Like, stoked for you. Whereas girls like, yeah, well, I did that too, so like I should get awarded for that. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not going to go watch her because she has more Instagram followers than me. No, I reckon I should be in that team, not her.
Yeah,
tearing
honestly,
each other down.
yeah, 100%. And you hate to say it. Like, I hate to say it. And it's like, if you don't have something nice to say, just don't say it, for God's sake.
But
like,
still rock up to the game because we need you.
Yeah, just buy a ticket. Yeah, like it's got a long way to go in that sense. And it's not just the people. I think the people playing, most of them are trying to do what they can and the clubs to support them as well. But it's all just, it honestly just starts with a whole shift around, stop putting your hand out and asking. I know that's got to come with it too, otherwise we'll never get anywhere. But I feel like we've got a good amount of that and we've got enough people backing us to do that. But it's just, instead of, you know, getting people to switch, it's like getting a whole mentality to just like change kind of thing. Like,
it's like you don't go on a diet, it's a lifestyle change. And
yeah,
you don't eat
exactly.
Exactly. You change it for you to feel good long term.
Yeah.
No fad diets. Oh, okay, there's something in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then I think for you, I Googled you.
Right.
So weird, like Googling you when I talk to you often.
Yeah. What'd you find?
I found...
My little sister Googles me all the time. It's a bit weird
she?
and sends me these weird articles. Yeah.
I love that.
She probably updates the page, to be honest.
Well, she needs to stop. The thing that kept coming up was, what did Millie Boyle do? And I'm like, oh, come on. This is not what we want. But I think that's something that people just were so fascinated by. And if people are listening going, what's she talking about? Well, last year when all this stuff was going on, so Millie, basically this toilet trust is like this huge back page complication with Adam Elliott. Can we please go back? Can we please rewind to that time? Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But and talk about it without you being like
defensive and
defensive, but not even that. It was like media thought that you had basically been this huge billionaire drug lord that should be locked up in jail for 50 years.
Look, I thought that was kind of, I was like, okay, I've accepted whatever, you know, and I thought that happened on the weekend and now it's a Monday, but it was still the Tuesday and then the Wednesday. And then I was like, talk about slow news week. Where is all of the news? Like, who actually, because it's dragging on longer, it seems like it's this big ordeal and it's literally so innocent that... Yeah, anyway.
So, like, all the bubble stuff was happening up in Queensland for the NRL. Millie lives on the Gold Coast. Adam Elliott plays for the Bulldogs. You know each other from down south where you're from, Cobargo. And you were all at the pavilion or somewhere.
Yeah, we're in surfers. It's like, just don't go to surf. You know, nothing good happens in surfers anyway. I hate surfers. I can count on one hand how many times I've even been there. And I'm like, awesome. That is just awesome. I mean, now it's awesome. Yeah. I'm like, great. But... yeah, the timing and just how it all went down was like so silly.
Was it hard for you? So basically Adam got told to leave, the shirt was off, security guards stole stuff, or it was like there's so many narratives. Yeah. And like I don't really need to ask you because I don't really care what happened in there. I think the public really care.
That's the thing. I'm a very honest, and I would not even be able to. I would crack under pressure if someone was like, no, what really happened? I'd be like, okay. But genuinely, we kissed in the bathroom and then straight away, like security were watching and there was 2 people in a bathroom, so they were like knocking to come in. And then that was literally it. And then, like we went home, whatever. I just spoke to the security. I was like, hey, just letting you know, like, is everything okay? Like, what's the big deal? They're like, nah, all good. Sorry, we were just being protective, whatever. And then, the next day it just like blew up. And I was like, what's this even over? But I at the end of the day, I guess it was over in a bubble breach, which he was obviously the only person breaching the bubble. So who knows?
But it was just it was weird. And you know what was difficult was that you're on SEN because you and I were talking every Friday.
We're talking every Friday.
And everybody's like coming to different people, trying to suss out the story. But for me, I was talking to you so much through it, and it upset me how upset you were because you came out and you were honest, and then people kept asking questions. And there's so many different rings in media, like that's so political, which I'm sure you've learnt.
Yeah.
Like every aspect of life, it is political. But then it was beautiful because then months later, well, not even months, it was like a month later, you're dating Adam, and I was like, hang on, I don't even know this.
It was, a bit funny how it all happened. Obviously, I've known Adam for ages, but just kind of happened. We caught up a couple of times, and then we were catching up like every day. It was really organic, I guess, in that way. We were just spending time together, and we have a lot of things in common, and we got along really well. And then it was actually really funny. I went into we were just like, keeping it pretty private because of everything. And then I went into SAS, and I was like for the first few days or week, whatever, I honestly didn't even think about anyone, not like family, friends. I'd forgotten about you. Just going to this auto drive where you just forget. And then when it starts they start tugging on the emotion, the heartstrings, whatever, family, missing people, I'm like, oh my God, did that even happen? Are we actually together? I kind of sorry, Adam, I kind of forgot about it because it was all such a rush. I don't know. Then I got out and I'm like, oh yeah, it did happen. He's right there. He's pretty much my boyfriend.
How did you get from toilet hookup to dating?
I said, yeah. I said we just spent a lot of time. He was up on the Gold Coast. He got stood down for those last couple of games, so he was doing sweet FA. And we were just hanging out, and it was really nice. And then the season ended, and they were on their, what do you call it? Off-season, and he had to get surgery, so he stuck around for a bit longer. And, we're just hanging out most days, and that's kind of how it all happened.
So cute.
Yeah.
I love it. And you were really happy?
Yeah, very happy, yeah.
And also I liked the Instagram post, lost a Millie, found a Millie.
Yeah. Quirky. I actually come up with that by myself too, which I was pretty stoked about. No. Some people didn't really get it, but I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it. Yeah.
Well, Adam Elliott's contract for non-rugby league fans was torn up.
Yep.
He's been grateful to get another deal at Raiders. And for you, now you're doing long distance with him. That would have been an incredibly tough time.
Yeah.
For both parties.
Yeah, it was really tough. And it would have been great if he could have got a gig up here. No.
Broncos, Titans, Cowboys, we're looking at you.
No, but we're making it work. And we travel on the weekends and whatnot when we can. But he's loving it down at Canberra and loving the team down there. So I can't wait to watch him play and see how they go. I'm back on the Raiders bandwagon.
I love it. Well, it kind of is weird how your dad played Raiders.
I know.
So how that's all happened.
Yeah, my uncle Toots, he's down there, still lives in Canberra as well, and he played for Canberra for quite some time. And he's been like, oh, I'll just go in and see Adam. What's Adam doing? And I think the welfare officer said to Toots, my uncle, he's like, Adam's down here for footy. He doesn't need your influence. Just leave him alone.
Give him a break. It makes me happy though. You're smiling. I'm smiling. I love that. Are you in a really good place off field and on field now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And obviously last year having our season pushed out, that was took a big toll on a lot of girls because they'd already made so many sacrifices. I was lucky I was still just doing whatever I was doing. But a lot of girls moved and, changed their work and their environments and their lifestyles for footy, and then for it all to just be postponed was pretty unfortunate. But I think we're really lucky now we deserve to have it, to have that season. So looking forward to kicking off round 1 at the end of the month. And, I know there's a lot more happier girls out there because of having the opportunity to play, especially with more teams as well.
Yeah, Broncos taking on Sydney Roosters on that Sunday, 27th of Feb. So get around it. Millie, I loved catching up with you.
Thanks,
been awesome.
Katie.
And I appreciate you coming on and being so honest and raw and relevant with us. Real Talkers will appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks heaps. Love what you're doing.
Make sure you like and subscribe, everybody. We're back next Tuesday.
Bang.